I'm wearing different clothes this time. It is filmed late because I didn't get to watch the episode until Tuesday night, which is unfortunate because I planned on watching it on Monday night, but it is what it is. So this is episode 6 of season 2 of The Last of Us TV show. And man, I have notes. I have so many notes. So many notes. Alright. So let's start this off by that episode hurt so bad. Obviously, this is going to have spoilers in it, so if you haven't watched the episode, don't watch this until after you watch the episode. And then if you liked this one and want to see a higher production value version, Casina Caradonna, they have actual ones, and their video came out, I believe, today or yesterday. Oh, it's no longer in my notifications. I'm pretty sure it might have been yesterday. Their reaction to that episode. So. Also, I got my haircut, and I'm pretty sure it's a little uneven, and it's going to haunt me for the rest of my days, but that's okay. So, episode 6. This is the one I was super excited for because it's the dinosaur flashback episode, which, who doesn't love that part of the game? When I was playing the first game for the first time, I hit New Game Plus thinking that it was that flashback scene was in the first game, and it was like the bonus level. No, I just completely overrode my progress. So I played it literally 2 days later, all again. So, oops. Young Joel backstory, in all capitals. Joel was so protective of his family, even as a baby. Hey, Joel's dad, that's really not good. Getting hit and then hitting them anyway, that's very bad. I mean, I understand cycle of abuse. I get it. However, bad. I said, ow, Joel's dad is crying, wanting him to be better than he was, and Joel is such a good dad, both to Sarah and to Ellie. So, like, he really took that, like, to heart and was like, not doing that. But that shit hurt, man. That shit hurt real bad. So I wasn't expecting the Joel backstory, and then the next... then we're back in regular times. Not really regular times. It's, like, after they get back to Jackson at the end of season 1, game 1. In between the big time jump of 5 years. That's where this episode takes place. Every year on Ellie's birthday is what happens. So this is her 15th birthday, I believe. And it says, fuck you, Seth. Joel trading Legos for Ellie's present with Seth. Seth being a grandpa is nice, but he's not a good person. Joel is a good person, even though he killed all those other people. Because, like, morally, he was correct. And Jerry should have waited for her to wake up to get her consent. You know? I'm not having that debate again. I've debated that in most of my Last of Us videos. But everybody's wrong. But also not. Like, it's justified, the bad things that they do. It's justified. And then it says, why does Seth have a lot of bones? That was odd to me. Joel is making the guitar for Ellie. Joel making the guitar for Ellie is amazing. I love it perfection. Because you know the scene in Toy Story 2 where Woody gets fixed up? And he, like, paints the eyeballs on the bottom of his shoe. And, like, sews his arm back on. I loved that shit as a kid. That was, like... that was very good. This is the Last of Us version of that. Joel making the guitar for Ellie. I really enjoyed it. And then I kept getting excited because I thought he was going to play Wayfaring Stranger, and then he never did. So it says, Wayfaring Stranger? Nope. It was very sad. Ellie burning herself to cover the bite. Ellie burning herself to cover the bite. Ellie high on painkillers is very funny and very Ellie. Bella Ramsey did good. She was just like, what are you doing here? It's his house. And then the easy baby girl, easy. God, that fucking killed me inside. Fucking killed me inside. I'm sure the show people saw everybody clipping the I got you baby girl, I got you from season 1 because, or it's the oh baby girl, after the David part. Season 1 and in the game. One of the best lines. It's one of my favorites, but it's not my favorite line from the game. My favorite line from the game is when you are finishing the bus depot section with Ellie, and you're in like the maintenance tunnel type situation. Not the actual bus tunnel, but like the maintenance tunnel. And there's a ladder that you crate Ellie across the water up, and she drops the ladder down, and then Joel goes, damn ladder broke off the ladder broke off the damn wall. And I like the way he says it. So if you get to that part in the game, and then don't move your controller or any of the joysticks, because it won't say the line, and it didn't say the line the last time I was playing the game, and I was very disappointed. So it's a good thing I have that clip saved in my phone. I do, in fact, I save things in my phone that when people say things that are like, I like the way they sound, I save them. So I have a clip of Vixella saying, it's a runner, it's a track star, Merry Christmas. And it's just so good. So good. It's stupid, but it's really good. Okay, back to the episode. The easy baby girl, easy. Oh, God. And they said, oh my God, I can't take this. My poor babies. Holy shit. The way she said the same thing as the last time she, like when she was asked how she got the burn. I just wanted to wear short sleeves again. That's valid. That good for you, but also your skin being melty was gross. And then Legos for a cake, adorable. Ellie shoving her face with cake with her hands is very, very Ellie coded. She was just like, and Joel's like, let me get the and she's just absolutely facing cake. I enjoyed that so much. And then when Ellie's like, play something for me, I was like, is it Wayfaring Stranger time? Nope, it's Future Days again. And I like Future Days. I do. I like the Troy Baker version of Future Days. Not saying that Pedro's version wasn't endearing, but I really like the Troy Baker version. I think it's just because it's the version I heard first, but I really like it. And then Pedro singing is so cute. Joel understanding Ellie's bite and then saying happy birthday. That was really adorable. He's like, as for why you burned your arm, I understand. I get it. I do. And I'm like, damn right you do, because Girly was fucked up. Ellie was so happy in that moment. You can see her smiling at Joel. That was good. And then I said dinosaur time. So Joel asking Ellie about Jesse is so funny to me because he's so wrong, so very wrong. And then Dicks and Vaginas, our queen. And he just looks so like, what did you just say? What? I thought that was very correct. Ellie climbing the dinosaur. It happened. They're so cute. This is adorable. I was very happy. This episode was definitely almost completely one-to-one to the game. Like, of course, there's, like, a lot of additions, but the scenes that were in the game are, like, one-to-one, and that's awesome. That's so fucking cool. I mean, I get it's an adaptation, not everything's gonna be the same, but this is a really important moment, and they were like, we can't change it, because everybody's gonna be, like, rioting in the streets. It's really good. This episode's very good. She didn't jump off, and my parents were like, that's because it wasn't water, it was concrete. And I'm like, that's fair. That is fair. But she didn't jump off, and that's okay. And said this is very, very close to the game so far. The Star Tunnel was gorgeous. The planet spinny thing was very well replicated. If you don't watch the making of The Last of Us, like the 11 minutes after the actual episode is over, I highly recommend you do, because they talk about the making of the episode, each episode, and then I think at the end of the season it gets compiled into its own little episode. Because like there's one for season 1. I assume there's gonna be one for season 2. I really like watching those, because they also post clips from that on their social media. Verifying EA app. Please don't verify the EA app. I'm recording. No, thank you. Okay. And then Joel looks so proud of himself for finding this for her. And these are the ages that Joel did not get to experience with Sarah because Sarah died younger. Which is so sad to think about, but he's doing such a good job. My nose is running. Is that a booger or is that... That might just be my nose. Maybe not. I can't tell. Hold on. It's just my nose. My nose is just built weird, wasn't it? Anyway. Okay. He greased it ahead of time so she could spin it, the planet thingy. That was a good detail, because, like, obviously that wouldn't just work. The gears are going to be rusted as all hell. But he went beforehand and greased it for her, and that's really cute. Joel coming up with the helmet idea was a nice touch. And then the way that Ellie gave him the most evil smile at him saying, pick one. And she was just like, I loved it. That, I should not have made that face. But it was very Ellie. It was very good. And then it says this is perfection. The lines are like direct from the game for a lot of them. Like I said, the set, the dialogue, so very one-to-one for the scenes that are actually in the game. And then they get in the spaceship and close the door, and I said, imagine if it didn't open back up. That would be terrifying. How the hell would they get out? How the hell would they get out? They wouldn't. They'd be corpses. And somebody else would come to visit, and then they'd find dead bodies. And then Joel looks so happy. And then the space travel thing that they did in the game where Ellie's, like, imagining it, and we, like, go with her. They did that in the show. And it was well done. And then Joel had happy tears in his eyes. It was like running down the crinkle. It was adorable. Oh god. So sorry, I haven't slept very well at all recently. This episode is almost completely one-to-one to the game. I was very focused on that. I was like, hey, that happened. Ellie going all PTSD stare, like the 40-yard stare, 20-yard, whatever number stare it is, where she, like, zones out and looks past, like that. I don't know if that came across. I unfocused my eyes on this and there. But she's doing that, like, blank vacant stare at the fireflies instead of in the second part of the museum part in the game. And when there's, like, the notes on the walls and, like, there is no light, like, the fireflies were liars. And then I recently saw a thing where somebody was like, yeah, I really like the detail where when Joel comes to get Ellie from in there, before they leave, he covers up the S in liars, so it's Ellie, liar, and then Joel. That's a really good detail that I didn't pick up the first time I played the game. I'm sure I'm gonna pick up so many details the next time I play the game, but, like, that's one that I really like. But I think her doing the PTSD stare at the fire, like the actual fireflies, works just as well as not having that extra museum part, because that extra museum part really doesn't do much besides get her the damn, could have saved the world, you know? And the seeing real fireflies does that. And when she sees real fireflies in the game, the first game, it's right before you get to Bill's town, she's like, look, fireflies. I mean, real fireflies. And he's like, and she's like, sorry, got distracted, lost myself for a second. I think that was a nice touch. Ellie's 17th birthday cake was nice this time. And I assume the girl in Ellie's room at that birthday was Kat, which was Ellie's ex-girlfriend. And so Kat gave her tattoo, which I think is pretty cute. Joel not being immediately supportive of Ellie was not on my bingo card. He's like, experimenting with girls? And she's like, it wasn't an experiment, you dumb bitch. She didn't say that. But she did say it wasn't an experiment. And then I hope he felt bad. I really do. I think he did. Because Joel's just not like that, you know? And then Ellie moved into the shed on her 17th birthday. That's crazy to me. That's really sad. She didn't really move in. She tried to move in on her 17th birthday, and then he fixed it up, and then she moved in after that, but still. Ellie girl, we all know you're not sorry about it. You're very unapologetically yourself. Because Ellie's like, I'm sorry that I smoked and got a tattoo and drink and fooled around with a girl. And then she's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, of course you're not. You're so very much yourself, and that's great. Joel understanding that Ellie needs space is good, so agreeing to make her a space to call her own is like really nice of him. And then Joel checking out Ellie's tattoo is also really cute. Because he's like, well, can I see it? Please? You're like, what are you going to do? No, he's giving you puppy dog eyes. And then I said, what are moths symbolic of? And then, when he goes to Gale to find out what moths mean, it says, Joel doesn't do good with kids growing up, but I mean, in his defense, all the teen stuff really happened all at the same time, and he was not prepared. Like, she was literally fooling around a girl, smoking, and had literally just gotten a tattoo. All at the same time. So, I mean, I get it, but also, shock will only take you so far. Moth means death. Moths mean death. And as soon as Joel heard that, his face went, that was also a bad reference. I am not an actor. I can't control my face like that. But his face was just, it just fell. He was like, that's bad. That's really bad. Ellie's room and all of her stuff is very much like the game, which I think is nice. Both her actual room and the room in the shed. I like that it's all, like, very Ellie coded. Like, that makes me happy. I'm realizing now I didn't empty the trash can on my computer before I started recording this. Hold on. Empty trash. Please. I don't want this video to not save because we're 17 minutes in. I hope that worked. I make no promises that it worked. It didn't look like it worked. But I will try to wrap this up. I'm not even close to being done. Anyway. You have greater purpose. Like, her drawings with the moth, it says you have greater purpose, and that was devastatingly sad. 2 years later, and she's still in the garage. Ellie rehearsing what to say to Joel about the fireflies is so sad. This whole episode was, like, really happy, and then it's like, oh, ow, oh no. Ellie never went to sleep that night. Oh. So, she was up rehearsing early in the morning before Joel had to come get her, and she obviously did not sleep that night at all. Happy 19th, you're going on patrol with Joel, which is obviously what she really wanted. So, like, he knows her really well, but, like, she's getting more and more distant, so he doesn't really know her. It's all devastating. It's all so sad. There's a little squirrel fucking a big squirrel. We should probably report that. It's just so Ellie. It's just so Ellie. It's so well done. Okay. Joel just wants to hang out with her, and she's growing farther and farther apart because of his lie. And I said, and then he gets the call. Oh, God. He gets the call that Eugene needs help, or, like, a unit needs help, and they're the closest ones. So I said, oh no, this is going to be the Eugene death scene. And then Ellie's like, I'm not your kid, Joel. I'm your patrol partner. And I said, you're both his kid and his patrol partner. You're both. I know it doesn't feel like it, but you're both. He adopted you. Kind of. I said, that's an awful cliff. That was horrible. The horse dragging the corpse is so not chill. And then Joel asks Eugene, you clean? And then he doesn't answer right away. And then it's like, Eugene is very much not clean. And then Eugene just wanted to say goodbye to Gale. That was so sad. Like I said, I'm going to say so sad a lot because it was all sad. All of it. And Joel knew it was the safest to not bring him back to camp, which makes sense. But that's still really not great of him. Like, he should have just brought it back. I mean, I get it. I get the lead up. I get that that lie is the final straw for Ellie. I get it. But also, Ellie wanted to help Eugene so bad, and she was right to do that. Ellie knows better than that the fact that Joel is telling the truth. She knows he's going to kill him, unfortunately. And then when Eugene and Joel are walking through the woods, you can see his hand start to shake. Not good. Joel telling Eugene to go right, like the guy in the hospital told him before trying to kill him. You know, at the end of game 1, the end of game 1, end of season 1, where the guy's like, Joel's like, which way? And the guy goes like that. That's my right. Yeah, that's my right. I know it doesn't look like it, but that's my right. He's like, go that way, and then kills him or tries to kill him. So Joel telling Eugene to go right is so similar to the guy in the hospital telling him to go that direction. Which I think in the game it's left. But still. I don't know what it is in the TV show, but still. Joel, no, you're supposed to take him to his wife. It's pretty, but it's not the same as saying goodbye to his wife. And then Eugene breaking down and saying, I need her last words for me. I'm scared. That's horrible. Eugene is getting twitchy and sad when he, like, kind of zones out. And is like, Joel's like, if you really love someone, you can always see their face. And then he, like, unfocuses his eyes and goes, it's very similar to the goblins in the Deathly Hallows movies. When they're under, like, the spell to, like, get them into Gringotts, and he's just, like, very similar to that. Very terrifying looking. I'm glad we didn't have to hear the shot just to see the birds, and then it says, poor Eugene, and I said, Ellie's gonna be so sad. Gale is gonna be distraught. At least they're bringing his body home, like they brought home Joel's body later, you know? And then somebody's like, Joel didn't have a choice. But he did have a choice, and he chose wrong this time. And then it said, oh no, Gale. Oh no. And it said, Joel, you're lying to make her feel better, but Ellie knows you're lying. You can see it on her face. And she's like... And then I just have in all caps Ellie. Because she tells Gale that Joel was lying. And I was like, I should have seen that coming. Ellie was correct. Should have brought him home. You swore him lying about... Was that the final... Ellie saying you swore, which was delivered so well, by the way. Him lying about bringing Eugene home was the final tipping point, or like lying to Gale about bringing Eugene, like having to kill him, was the final tipping point. And that you swore was to both Eugene and the Fireflies, because the game, she says, swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true. And then he takes a pause and he's like, I swear. And his face in that part is the same as his face in this part. I'm pretty sure that was also in the making of The Last of Us, like the notes at the end, I think. Joel watching Ellie at the dance to make sure she's doing relatively okay. And then Tommy goes home to put his kid to bed and leaves Joel with Maria at the party. And then Joel and Tommy say, see you next year. And my note says, do they not see each other next year? Correct, because the day that Joel gets murdered is the first day of the new year, which is awful, and the night after that party. Poor Joel and Tommy. And then Uncle Grumpy being family is adorable. My heart just awful. It was adorable. And then it says, Joel, I love that shove. One track instant Papa Bear. Because he was just like, nope. And that was correct. Joel playing Ellie's guitar on the deck is so sad. And I was like, Wayfaring Stranger? Nope, don't think so. I was like, please. And then I said, poor Joel. And then I said, poor Ellie. And then I said, everything sucks and is sad. And then Joel's mug is a recreation of the mug from the game, which is awesome. And Joel had his coffee in his mug, which is awesome. And Joel asking about Dina. He is now being a supportive king, now that he's not in complete and utter shock and angry parent mode. Joel's crying face is very painful. Pedro Pascal did a really good job. Unfortunately, that hurt real bad. He should just smile. That sounds like a creepy old man telling you smile. But, like, he's so happy here. He was not happy in that episode. My God. Joel's crying face is so painful, and so is Ellie's. Bella Ramsey. Slade. Boots down. I don't really know where that saying came from. Hopefully I'm using it right, because I don't know. It's just fun to say. The acting was on point, because, like, they're both breaking down and just... the because I love you fucking ow. That was atrociously painful. Joel reciting what his dad told to him, to Ellie, hurts my fucking soul. I would like you to try to forgive him also. I wish you had the time to try. That hurts so bad. That hurts all the time. That's why I couldn't play the game for 5 years. Ellie moseying back to the theater is also going to really hurt. Because that's where that episode ends off. It ends off back in present time with Ellie going back to the theater. Ow. Because you know she's gonna pull the I made Nora talk line. And then the next episode is the last episode of the season. And we all know what happens on Seattle Day 3. If you've played the game. If you haven't played the game, you don't know what happens on Seattle Day 3. And I'm not going to tell you. But let me just say, if you didn't think that everything that's happened so far has been fucked up, you might not still be on Ellie's side at the end of Seattle Day 3. I am of the opinion that both Abby and Ellie are correct. But also at a certain point, there's a line. And that line gets crossed. On both sides. So the episode's over, and now we're in my post-episode thoughts and the making of The Last of Us. So the next episode is Seattle Day 3, and that's the last one. It's gonna suck. It's not that the episode's gonna be bad, but like on the inside, gonna suck. And then the making of The Last of Us had Pedro's last day on set. Everybody was crying and hugging, and it was all sweet. Which means he's not gonna be in the next season, I would assume. Or the season after that, because, like, obviously Joel's dead, but, like, that means we're not getting any more flashbacks, because they did all the flashbacks all in one episode, which I guess is good. That way people who missed Joel can watch the one episode. But, like, we really love him. He had to die. Unfortunately. It was as the prophecy foretold. But it's very sad. The set design was fantastic in this episode, and thank God for that dollar store bag of rhinestones, because that really brought the Star Tunnel together. I loved that. And then, like, the deaths could have been prevented. Eugene was a death that could have been prevented. That's why it hit Ellie so hard. You couldn't have prevented his death. You could not have distributed the vaccine. It wouldn't get rid of the infected. You could immunize the living, possibly, but you can't distribute it because there's infected everywhere, and if you get overrun, you're just dead anyway. They're going to tear you apart because they don't just have to bite you and turn you. They can eat you and turn you, or they can just rip you to shreds and use you as meat. It's not going to solve the problem. You're still going to send people out to go kill them, and they're going to get killed. It's not going to solve the problem. And then the last thought is just poor Ellie and poor Joel. Like, that's awful. And that's all my notes for that episode. Heartbreak. Heartbreak. It was beyond painful. I mean, it was very 1-to-1 to the game, so it was very good. And the acting was very well done. It just hurt to watch. I didn't cry. I did not cry. But it really hurt to watch. So far, the only part that's made me cry is the coffee being grave from episode 2 or 3. I think it's episode 3. Yeah. Yeah, I think. Episode 3. Or 2. I don't know. But that's the only part that made me cry so far. But a lot of them have been really emotional and really stressful. Like, it's very well done. I like it. Do I think everybody should play the game at least once? Yes. But do I think the show is doing a good enough job getting the point across and, like, adapting it so the people who just watch casual TV will pay attention to it? Also, yes. Because, like, not everybody has 30 plus hours to play the second game. Not everybody has 10 plus hours to play the first game. So I get it. So, I am going to upload this video, as it is now 11 a.m. So I'm going to upload this video, and if you watch it this far, you should really go check out Cassina Cardano. I really hope I'm saying their name right. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Their videos are higher production quality. Like, they have the episode kind of on the screen. So if you want to watch that, they're reacting to episode by episode of the season. Their episode 6 video just came out recently. And if you want to watch reaction to the first season, Twiddle Thumb Gaming, her name is Alex, is doing a reaction to season 1. That's a good series to watch if you want to debate. Because personally, I don't really agree with Alex's opinions on a lot of the things. But that's okay. Because everybody's entitled to their opinions. It's not hurting anybody. But if you're up for like a debate type situation, you should watch. I mean, assuming you agree with the things I say. But like, you might not. And therefore, if you don't, then you should definitely watch the Twiddle Thumb Gaming ones, because you might agree with Alex. And if you do agree with me, you might want to watch Cassina's videos, because I feel like I share a lot of their thoughts, I think. I don't know. If you're looking for more Last of Us content, they both make Last of Us content, and they're both very good at their jobs. So, like, you should go watch. Twiddle Thumb just did episode 2. So they did 1 and 2 so far. And then Cassina did 2 and is doing season 2. Because Alex at Twiddle Thumb never watched season 1 and is now watching season 1. Cassina watched season 1, obviously, and is now watching season 2 as it comes out. So, you should go check them out. I recommend them both. And then I'm going to hang them out. I have so many I have ideas for videos. I just have not had time. So we have one more Last of Us video coming. Like a show reaction notes video, like another one of these. There's one more of those. There's one more episode. And then I want to do, like the episode and choices games from like 6 years ago that were really popular. There's one story on choices that I absolutely adored, and I would love to do a video of like screen recording the game and playing it and like reacting to that, because I loved that story. So I'd really like to do that. And then I don't know. I want to play more Last of Us. Like, there's so much I want to do. I have a video on my phone that it won't let me upload because I don't have enough storage to download a picture that's actually on my phone. I don't know. But I wanted to change the thumbnail to a picture that I already have that's like the thing I have. And I like recorded an unboxing of a giveaway I won, and I'd like to post that because like Author is so nice. And it just won't let me. So I'm trying to get this one done so that I can clear my phone off, so that I can hopefully get that one up. I have a short that I edited out of a video that my man took of me like a year ago, and it's so dumb and so funny, but I'm hoping maybe it'll attract viewers. So I'm gonna post this one and I'll post that one, and then we'll see if I can get the other one to go up. Okay, I'm gonna hang up now because I have shit to do. So I will talk to you the next time, which will probably be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. Hopefully. Possibly. I am unsure. Life has been lifing. It's been a long day already. So I'm gonna hang up now. I will talk to you the next time. Bye!